Good afternoon. This is the Elliott Wave Weekly Update for the Dow Jones 30 and the Russell 2000, being recorded on Saturday, March the 29th at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I'm going to start here with the Dow Jones Cash Market. I'm on the daily chart, but to do a quick update of where we are and within this larger picture, let me just jump quickly out to that maximum chart. Again, the largest degree up that we're finishing up right now would be a cycle third wave. And within that cycle wave three, we are still in the process of putting in the finishing moves for a primary fifth wave. And within that primary fifth wave, we are finishing up a minor fourth wave correction within intermediate wave five. So the count would be shortly that once we're done, we'll be in minor wave five of intermediate wave five, of primary wave five, of cycle wave three. So what we got coming up is that we should be again zipping back up to again new all-time highs. Before we do that though, we need to get this minor fourth wave complete. And considering the selling that began on Friday, or what actually began for Friday, but got very intense on Friday, pushing the Dow cash down 715 points. And in the futures market, which we'll go over in a moment, it ended up being 888 points. And so I don't believe that part's over yet, but it was a dang good start as we continued to count down the minute C wave to finish minor wave four. It's been quite the process. It's really been in motion since December of 2024. And within it, you can see we have finished minute wave A, minute wave B, both of this four. And coming down in the C wave, we've completed one, two, three, and four. So we're in minuet wave five of minute wave C of minor four. So we're in the finishing stages here and very well could finish up beginning of next week or at some point next week. I'd be looking for this to kind of be done for the market to begin to revert back to a more a bullish type of a stance. In other words, where they are really selling the VIX, getting that cash and buying the underlying volatility. So back onto risk on type trading. Now, I don't have those exact levels here in the Dow because, again, the levels that I get, which would suggest we're breaking above or below a volatility trigger, which then triggers risk on, risk off type trading. Risk off trading would be where we're not selling volatility. In fact, we would be, but we're getting out of the positions that they put on when the risk on trading. So risk off trading puts us in a negative gamma atmosphere. And usually what will happen in a negative gamma atmosphere is that the markets are selling into weakness, which just absolutely aggravates the weakness, continues to contribute to the weakness, and at times can really speed the weakness in terms of the rate that it drops. And that's what we saw on Friday. Now, to update the cash, again, we were in the minuet fifth wave down, and I believe that we finished one and two, and it doesn't look so right there. But again, what we're just looking for is, first of all, probably a drop down into here. Now, will it get all the way down to the bottom of that previous fourth wave? I don't think so. I think we're likely going to find our bottom right into here. But I do think initially I thought, well, we maybe or maybe not going to break below 40,000. I now believe that we will and get down to that like 38,000 area. So let's kind of go over that, see where we are. Again, in that minuet wave five down, I'm going to bring this down to the 4-hour chart, and we can take a look inside of it. And again, we can see there's the B wave. 1, 2, 3, 3. ABC up for 4, starting us on our way. Now, that was the point where we broke and we went into positive territory in terms of gamma. We went into the risk on trade, so they really built it up until we reached that high, and then they started to sell it. Not so great in the beginning, but then we dropped. We did have one rally back up, and then that was actually another 1, 2, and now we're inside this 3. All right, so we're inside the sub-minuet wave 3, and I believe inside that it's a sub-sub. So again, it's going to extend. And right now, we're honing in on for the sub-minuet wave 3, we're honing in on that support level, which is 1.618. That's at 41,470. I think actually that the market may just slip right through that. And I'm looking for this to really kind of kick in, first of all, via the futures tomorrow when Globex reopens. And then from there, I think we'll see it totally kick in on Monday. And again, Monday is that magic end of the quarter expiration. And so the markets will be dealing with the JP Morgan collar, which actually sits in the SPX. And right now it remains at 55.65. SPX 55. The strike is 55.65. Now, also, just to kind of go along with that, which fits more with our options flow, the capital flow, and the gamma flow, those levels kind of with the SPX closing below 55.80, below 55.80, and we close pretty much right there. But below there should be still consistent support, but it's coming via short puts down underneath in the SPX. Now, when they start to get broken, it's just going to contribute more power to the selling. So again, selling into weakness. And if the market continues to decline as more traders and more institutions are moving out of things and in preparation likely for the expiration on Monday, that quarterly expiration. So in that process, what can happen, it can drive this down, complete these moves, but then on the heels of that expiration on Monday, the quarterly, we will get a couple of good things out of that. One will be that the JP Morgan collar gets rolled out to June. We'll find out what levels they're going to be placing it at, which should start to guide us a little bit about what market direction may or may not take. Because it tends to those positions that they put on the collar is pretty large. It's about 40,000 options contracts on each side, calls and puts. So we'll see what that collar is going to look like, and it kind of sets the stage for the market move between now and June. Having said that, I'm looking for this in the Dow for the market to come down and to complete that minor wave 4. And let me just kind of pull this back open. See the minor wave 4. I'm looking for that C wave, and we're underway. We're in the minuet wave 5 to complete the minute wave C. Now, where do we have 1.618? Wow, can't really see that, can I? Let me go this way and open that up a little bit. All right, so here's our zone. We do have some support here, but I think that's just going to be finishing up third waves. This is not going to finish up the fifth wave. So this is for the minuet fifth wave, the support lines. So that, no, I think we've already been through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to take that out and I'm going to take that out. And that's going to leave the 2.618, which is down here. So the yellow here, or the goldish yellow, those are for the third wave, right? Those are for the sub-minuet third wave. Now, I think this is going to get broken, which pushes us down to this next level, which is 40,819. Now, from here, that would be another down 700 day, and I think that the market can do, and it might do it on Monday. Then we have a little bit of a rally in a small fourth wave, and then we come down in a fifth wave. So it's still kind of suggestive that we're going to come down here. And there is our minute degree again at 39,827. 39,827. And then above that, we have the minor, which is 382, which is pretty common for a fourth wave, at 39, is it? Yeah, 39,861. So here's our next cluster of support, which I think can wrap it up. We have 39,861, 39,830, and 39,745. So nice little window, not so bad. It's about 110, 120 points from each level down. So what each one represents, this is for the minor four. And that's just telling you where it's 382. It could stop it there because on the others, this one is 1.618, where minute wave C would be 1.618 times the length of minute wave A, and that level comes in at 39,826. Very, very common for that C wave, since we've already gone through 100 and we've already gone to obviously 618. So the next one up in tune, once we cut through 100%, brings us down to 1.618. Now, as far as this for the minuet wave 5, this is where it's 2.618. But I have to tell you that what we're looking for is for that fifth wave to come down to that level, but it can actually complete at one of the other levels higher. More important is going to be this minor level, the 382, because that's the most common for the whole minor fourth wave. So I think the others will line up, but this will catch the overflow for all of them. For 39,861, and let's say it gets down there, but there's still more selling. We can have that selling all the way down 39,744, and it still makes all of these levels good. So everything would just fall into place. Now, if it seriously we're having a blowout type of a sale or selling, I mean, we do have additional support down to 38,251. I just need to take this back out so we can put this in perspective. That would be quite a sell, to be honest with you, to get it all the way down to there. And so that would be blowing out a lot of things, and there would have to be some pretty strong stimulus besides the March roll, and in terms of the quarter end posturing. I would think something else would have to be joining that party. Now, that could come. On April the 2nd, we're expecting the details of the implications or applying these talked about tariffs, the 25% tariffs against automobiles, the 25% tariffs against other products coming from Canada and Mexico. And I believe also some of the items that are going to be tariffs are being placed on with China and the European Union. So we've got tariffs going out there across the globe. And I think that a lot of that started to get caught up in because we saw that the PCE data that came out on Friday did begin to show that, yep, inflation is heating up again. And as a result of these tariffs, now, regardless of what anybody really wants to say about it, trade wars are not good for an economy of any country. And it just produces more problems. But we have an administration that seems to think it's worthwhile and that it will bring a lot of things back to the United States, a lot of revenue via these raised prices. But you know what, folks? It's just how it's going to come back is through taxes, paying taxes on these prices. So the consumer, if you choose to buy these products that are being imported, and they will go up, then you're going to pay it first of all in the higher price on it, and then the governments, which state and fed, are going to get taxes because we pay taxes on those prices. So again, it's the consumer that ends up paying, not the country of origin. It's the consumer. Otherwise, we don't buy the products, and then revenue for these companies ceases. So one way or the other, it's going to come out somewhere. So, excuse me. What we're looking at here is not necessarily the impact on us as consumers, but the impact on the market. And because they're beginning to show a little bit of inflation, not a little bit, it actually was a whole percent, it was a tenth of a percent um, in the PCE numbers. That is going to concern the Fed in terms of when and if we might get our next rate cut. They've already stated that they're pulling back from doing them more frequently, but they're still saying, well, we might get one or two in 2025. Well, we're ending the first quarter on Monday. We're looking at the second quarter. I don't know. I don't know. PCE data might continue to show that these um, tariffs are not are are producing inflation, are producing higher levels in the inflation or an uptick in inflation. And then again, we might see it also because the government is deciding to close whole federal departments of the government, laying off tens of thousands of people within the government, regardless if they're getting a package or not. Unemployment should go up. Unemployment on the rise is not necessarily going to be the best tool for the Fed to kind of go ignore if they are choosing to lower rates. Again, so we'll see. We got a lot of things, a lot of implications. Now, here we are in the Dow. In the cash market, I'm looking for this thing to continue. I think we need to come down. We need to finish sub minuet wave 3. I think it's going to go through there, but that doesn't mean it has to go all the way down to the next level. It can go through, and then we get a 4, a little small 4, and then we come back down in a fifth wave, and then I'll reset the fibs, but I am expecting it to take out this low. That minuet wave 5 should take out the low of wave 3. That's at 40,661, and head down towards these levels, which is our little compacted zone of support, of fib support, and that would be to complete the minor wave 4. So we're on our way, and that's all in the cash. Now, in terms of, here we are, the 4-hour chart, it is all in alignment, and now that the 8 and the 20 have also inverted and now going back down, and the 8 really kind of going down pretty strongly. I can drop down to the hour and you can see it, and everything is back in alignment. There's the 200, the 50, the 20, the 8. Everything's in alignment for the market to continue to go down. Let's go over and look at the futures market. And here again, here we have that balance of that selling on Friday. So I would be expecting, however this comes in tomorrow now, right? Because tomorrow the futures market will start to trade at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. here on the West Coast, as Globex reopens. If we continue to sell, that it's going to be a much stronger gap down on Monday. And all the cash markets, they will gap even heavier. So if we kind of come down and rally back up, well, that's a different story then. But still, I don't think in front of the expiration, in front of the massive moves that we got on Friday, that the markets are really going to start to open higher. I don't think so, but we'll see. So again, here we are in the futures market on the hourly chart, and everything marked out. Let me just kind of get that up. There is the third wave. Let me just move that up a little bit so I can get a little bit more room on showing here. And here's wave 4. And then here is our markers for that fifth wave, which is now underway. 1, 2, and then we're coming down in the third. Let me just see what this thing looks like here. And they take that away. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, 4, 5 of 3, and then a 4 and a 5 to fit in that 5. So here's, well, I think we have, first of all, we need to break below the low of wave 3, which is 41,102. And then that kind of brings us down to where I think this all comes in. So I think this wave 3 can finish up below 41,000. That'll take out that low. and set us up for a small fourth wave, and then bring us down in a fifth, which should get us now down into here. So the equivalent levels now in the YM, in the futures market, are 39,844, 39,693, and 39,585. Those are the levels that I think will complete the minuet wave 5, the minor wave 4, and set the stage for the start of minor wave 5. Minor wave 5 will consist of 5 waves of minute degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oh, by the way, but this would also include minuet wave 5, minute wave 5, and minor wave 4. That's what we'll be completing down in here. And the purple for the minuet, the goldish or the orange goldish color is for the minor, and the whitish gray color is the minute. So not necessarily in that order, but they all can finish here because it's just going to matter on the 5 waves down. So this is just meeting next levels. The more important one is that minor, being a 50% retracement, which again for fourth wave is pretty acceptable. And let me just double check. And it puts us within, there's the end of that wave 4. So it's kind of like pretty close. We're right in between, which also can work, by the way. So that puts these into front and center, here and here, and all of that. So we could finish at 39,844 or thereabouts, as long as we're going to get down towards that 2.618 level to finish minuet wave 5. The rest will fall in. Minuet wave 5 completes, then minute wave 5 completes, and minor wave 4 completes. And off we start in that minor 5th wave. Expectations, again, for that minor 5th wave, once it gets going, is to move up to, again, above 46,073 is what we got, 46,043. But we're looking at 47,117 for upside. 51,000. We're looking for the pretty spectacular rally in that minor 5th wave, and that minor 5th wave will then complete the intermediate 5th wave, which will then complete the primary 5th wave, which then completes cycle wave 3. So we have a lot of things, not only just in the Dow, but in the Russell and in the other markets where we're looking for stronger rallies. And in most of them, we're looking for new highs. Possibly not so much in the Russell, but definitely in the Dow, definitely in the S&P, and definitely in the NASDAQ. We're looking for new all-time highs. All right, so going over to the Russell. Let's take a look to see what that looks like for us right now. And again, let me just flip this back out on this one. I know these are still, I keep telling myself, you always forget to go and replace all this. I have to move it all down because of the contract roll. But here's what we're looking at. This is minor wave A. This, by the way, you can go all the way up here and see that is. So what we're also looking to finish down here is the C wave, an intermediate 4th wave. So similar to the Dow, no, similar to the S&P and the NASDAQ is we're finishing intermediate 4th waves. Wherever our lows come in down here, we're finishing intermediate 4th waves. So it's going to be the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell that will be finishing intermediate degree 4th waves. And that is still, like in the other markets, we've been in the minor C wave down to do that since the highs in November of 2024. So the Russell's really been working on this one for quite some time. So let's take it down to that daily. We'll take a look at what's it look like inside. We're coming down in the minor C wave. It can, consists of 5 waves of minute degree, of which we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 completing last week at the highs that we had on the 25th, and I believe that was going to be 21.28. So just exceeding, actually a little bit higher. No, 21.28. And that just exceeded the 61.8% retracement back up. And so we mark the fifth wave. Those are our fibs for the fifth wave. And that's the one we're in. We had a very strong sell again. The Russell actually got hit 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and it was that fourth day, Friday, that really gave it that push. But it's basically been coming down since the 25th of March. So that's when minute wave 5 began. And right now, we are still subdividing. We have minuet 1, 2, and we're in minuet wave 3. Come down to that hourly chart, and we'll take a look inside. So there is the minute fourth wave. And here we have minuet wave 1, minuet wave 2, and we're breaking down inside of this third wave, which likely is going to be a 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Still need a 5 to finish that 3, and then a 4 and a 5 to finish the minute 3. Yeah, we could be doing this, but I'm looking for, let me go back out to my daily. That's true. Here's what I'm looking for. 618 could work. I got to go out one more because I got to see where that A wave is. Here's the A wave. The A wave is at 1634. Even though that could complete here, and it would be a huge, too big of a failure. And unfortunately, I'd have to go figure out what the hell it is. So again, I think either I got to make adjustments somewhere to what the patterns really are, um, and raise this up a degree and put that intermediate wave 4 here. And this could be strange as it is, but we'll see. We'll see. Because right now, I'm thinking that the market should find strong enough support right in here. And that's going to be quite a strong blowout for the Russell. And we'll see what happens next week. First of all, with Monday, and then with Wednesday with these tariffs, and then moving forward. So the Russell again seems to be the one that's like saying, no, this is going to take a little bit longer for us to get down to the lows that we're kind of looking for. So bringing it back to my daily chart, I'm just counting here 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's interesting. I'm trying not to count too fast. And the only way that I can not do that is to say that this is, wow, minuet wave 1 of minute wave 3, which would put us into a really spiral coming off. So let's see how it all goes. I'm going to keep the count the way it is, but in terms of it finishing that intermediate fourth wave, it just seems that we have a whole lot more to get to before that happens. And God, and this stuff kind of keeps me up at night. The A wave is essentially where we need to get below. And so we're like maybe halfway. If we got down here, even here, I probably could look at it as a possibility. If we get down in 5 and the market turns and whips, it could be a failure, a C wave failure, but that would kind of make it a little bit hard. And I'd have to go really look at some other stuff to see if that was going to be valid. In any case, I think for Monday, the Russell should continue to come down. I think we definitely get below 2000 here. And if I can just take a peek at my levels for the Russell now, let's see how far we got down. Yeah, the Russell really closes at 2028 in the futures market. 2013 is large gamma 4 and the put wall. I think if we break below that, which I'm kind of thinking we should, and we might even do that tomorrow, on the openings or to trading in Globex, and then produce a gap in the cash market, and also the futures market, just depending on where it's going to come. Because beyond all of that, if it breaks the put wall, then we're definitely selling. We're selling into weakness as these levels start to continue to break. So that's at 2013. We have support at 2010. We have support at 2001, and we have support at 1991. I'm thinking they all get taken out. And then for this a minute fifth wave, if I'm thinking wave 5 should equal 1, that brings us down to 1797, basically 1800, let's say. And that's where minute wave 5 would be equal to minute wave 1. So I'm looking for a lot more. And it's very painful for the Russell to give up 50 or 60 or 70 points. I've seen it down 100. Even in all of these cycles, I've seen they've had some pretty solid days. Let's see what happens. Because actually, I'm looking for it to get below 1800 in terms of that larger intermediate fourth wave completion point. And I'm going to keep very close tabs on this because I'm thinking already it's like, what's not working out here? So the only thing I do is put a 1 here and a 2 here that's still in the same problems. But it would pull up that fifth wave. Pretty much it would pull up a lot. But again, I'm going on the basis of, one more time, I'm going on the basis of where the A wave is. And the A wave low was 1638, 1639. So that's kind of what I'm looking at there. And there's the marker. All right. So unfortunately, that's going to be it. Just taking a look at these levels that we compare to when we're looking at the IWM. Now let's see what that thing looks like coming off of this low it made on the 10th of March. This low was Friday. So it's like, wow, okay. It needs to get below 197, and it might do that come Monday. But if I had to count this, and we're keeping it in tabs, A, B, there's a C, but we're going to go up. So these have probably got to come down. See, there's the 4, A, B, C. Wow, this could be suggesting that in IWM it's done already. If I had to follow this, see what I put there? And I might change that because I think that would be the intermediate 4 and this would be intermediate wave 5. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to have to work on that too. So let me get out of here, IWM. That's a little bit weird. But here again, what are our levels? So we're looking at the spot gamma levels. Market closed at 209 or 210, let's call it. And 205 is large gamma 1. And so I take it back. We didn't close there. We closed at 200.45. So we are sitting right above large gamma 2 in the put wall. We're sitting on top of the put wall here. So the market may just come in and break that put wall on Monday morning, and that's really going to shove it lower. So we should get a stronger selling pretty much quickly on the break. 195 is large gamma 4. So, and then I will have new numbers come Monday morning. And that will be for members. For gold members, you will be getting those numbers on Monday morning. All right. I am going to finish it up and get it published. I actually will be publishing this for membership, but I'm also going to publish it just to my general members. All right. Have a great balance of the weekend. Next update will be for membership levels, the gold membership levels Monday morning.